Between 1942 and 1945, the United States lent the nationalists at least $1.5 billion to aid the fighting of the Japanese during World War II. However, the nationalists did not use the money to help fight the Japanese because they were protected from a mountain range on the eastern side of them. Instead, they saved the money to fight the communists in the upcoming civil war between the communists and the nationalists.
1949 was a year of upheaval in the East. China, the world's most populous nation, had been in political turmoil since the early 1900s. Centuries of rule by feudal emperors and warlords had failed, and a civil war had raged between the communist forces of Mao and nationalist forces of Chiang Kai-shek since 1927. Though both sides had banded together to fight the Japanese invasion, the end of World War II brought the return of civil war. Now China, the Celestial Empire, was about to change forever.
The Civil War lasted from 1946 to 1949. At the beginning of the war, it appeared that the nationalists had the advantage, with their army outnumbering the communists 3-1. The nationalists also had a financial benefit from the United States of nearly $2 billion. Yet the communists won the support of the people and the peasants by promising to return the land owned by rich landowners back to the peasants. In October 1949, Mao
gained control of and created Communist China. Then, Jing and other nationalist leaders fled to Taiwan. Shortly after Mao seized power, the two main countries, China and Russia, signed a treaty of friendship.
After Mao seized power, he set up a two-parallel government which he headed until 1959, the Communist Party and the National Government. To reshape China's economy, Mao gave land to the peasants and took land away from landlords who owned most of China's land. He divided this land up between the peasants, who made up 80% of China's population.
Speaking of land, Mao created collective farms and
gradually nationalized private companies to be brought under government ownership. Mao created a book full of quotes from his political speeches. It was called the Red Book.
Mao's supporters printed a book of quotations from his political speeches and writing, and used them as the basis for a new attack on what was called the capitalist road. We still have to wage a protracted struggle against bourgeois and petty bourgeois ideology, said Mao. As he tried to regain power, Mao used a piece of spectacular political showmanship to revive his reputation. To demonstrate his continuing vigor, at the age of 72, he led a mass swim across the river Yangtze.
in 1953, Mao created a 5-year plan called the Great Leap Forward, just like Stalin's 5-year plan.
Mao's Great Leap Forward dramatically increased China's output of coal, cement, steel, and electricity. However, most of the steel made by the Chinese was unusable and a waste of time and money. This is a backyard furnace and I'm making steel in China.
This Great Leap Forward caused many Chinese people to suffer. More than 20 million people died from starvation.
Mao's 5-year plan was a failure. I'm starving.
Mao used the Red Guards to get rid of his enemies and old traditions.
Trying to break the thinking and attitudes of old China, he began with her traditional culture. The 1,000-year-old Beijing opera was singled out as the start of his attack. If it could be changed, then anything could be. 8 new revolutionary plays were written to replace all the old stories of emperors and concubines. Tung Shangling, who once played princes, now took the lead as an officer in the People's Army.
我能拿到了这个角色，由我来演，
I was chosen to play this revolutionary role, and it was a great honor.
很光荣。 我们是灵魂的工程师，我们有一种
As artists, we were engineers of human
演出
souls.
为赚钱吃饭，或者是简单的工作，而且我们有一种责
We
任
didn't
感，
just perform to earn
我们这种
money,
责任感
but had a serious responsibility to re-educate
起
people.
了一定教育作用。我们非常幸福。
We were so happy that Chairman Mao was creatively involved in this opera.
Mao used a combination of the Red Books, marches, demonstrations, and a change of culture to brainwash the children of China into believing he was a godlike character and the best thing that's ever happened to China.
In school, children recited his message to them. In Shanghai, at the number 6 girls' school, Xiao Ailing was the headmistress.
我们同学就感到外滩的变化、上海的变化、学校
The
的变
pupils
化
came to realize that all the changes taking place in their families, at school, in Shanghai and China were brought about by Chairman Mao.
毛泽东带给我们的。
Students were used to carry the Cultural Revolution forward. For the first time, young people were encouraged to attack authority and the old hierarchy of the party. And the advice came from Mao himself. Bombard the headquarters, he said. To rebel is justified. One of the Beijing students who were the first to call themselves Red Guards was Zhang Baoqing.
毛主席发动的文化大革命，这实际上是毛主席
Chairman Mao started the Cultural Revolution to keep up the momentum for change.
说的
Everything he said was right.
全是正确，都是真
We
理。
thought if we follow Mao, we can't go wrong.
就没有错，只有毛主席
Only he can lead us from one victory to another.
Even small children were taught to denounce Liu.
Thanks for watching. This was the Chinese Cultural Revolution. The end.